Hello, this is Todd Luck, and do you like the new Robo Force figures? How about Sectaurs, Warriors of Symbion, or Biker Mice from Mars? Well, I've got some great news for you guys because all of the Nacelleverse's toys that they've got out right now are at Walmart. Not only that, but they're considerably cheaper than what you've been able to get them for in the past. So in the past, they've been at the price that you would expect to see an indie collectible toy, which is a little bit outside of my range, but these have been dropped down to prices similar to what you would see in the regular toy aisle for something like Marvel Legends or Masterverse. They're not in every Walmart. If your Walmart does have it, it would be in the electronics section. They have this end-cap display. The easiest way to find the Walmart closest to you that has the display is to go to walmart.com and search for one of the figures I'm about to talk about. I searched for Sectaurs, and basically you just click on the local availability of that item and you should be able to find the stores closest to you with this display. We're going to go down each row of this display and talk about the different figures that it has. And so the top row is Robo Force, and like all of these toy lines, this is bringing these figures into the modern day with higher articulation, higher detail. These are collectible figures, and so we have really two figures in the Robo Force line right now, and that is Wrecker and Max 89. Now, Max 89 does have a variant that you can get here at Walmart, and it is the Fireproof Max 89. And it's painted gold. Fireproof is a reference to the comic where he turns into this gold form in order to make himself fireproof. But it's just a variant. It's the exact same figure with a different coat of paint. So originally the new Robo Force retailed for $49.99, but at Walmart you can get them for $34.98. And I think that's a good price. It's comparable to a deluxe figure, and considering how much detail they have, how big and bulky they are, how much articulation they have, and how many accessories they have, I think that is probably a good comparable price to have them at $35, similar to a deluxe Masterverse figure. All right, the next row down is Biker Mice from Mars. All three of your mice are here, and they are coming out with the bikes. They are available for pre-order on the Nacelleverse's website. And so all these figures are on a 6 or 7 inch scale. And as you can tell, the detail here is really great. They look like they walked right out of the cartoon. Very expressive, lots of articulation here, lots of accessories. And so they originally retailed for $35.99, which is a great price for an indie collector figure with this many accessories. I mean, most toy companies would make you buy a separate figure just to get the helmeted head. But at Walmart, they're selling for $29.98, which I think is really good. You Biker Mice fans are eating well. Next up is the Great Garo, which is based on a remote-controlled monster toy from the 1960s. And they have both the regular green version and the blue variant at Walmart. And so he is a little bit smaller than the others. He's made to scale, but he is a smaller character, at least in this particular form. So he cost a lot less than the others. And so he originally retailed for $15.99 because he's a small figure. And he now retails at Walmart for $9.98. All right, and so on the bottom here, we have Barnyard Commandos Private Side of Bacon. And I was completely mystified because this is a completely enclosed box with no picture of the toy on it. So I had to do a little bit of research on this one. All right, so Barnyard Commandos did have a cartoon back in the 90s. This is the intro for it. And I got this from the Mighty Space Robot YouTube channel. And it basically has mutated pigs and sheep going at it with a heavy artillery and airplanes and just all kinds of crazy stuff here. It looks like a good time. I might have to check this cartoon out. And so, of course, it was a line of toys back in the 90s, and it was by Playmates, and they were really figurines. They were kind of made out of hollow plastic like a squeaky toy, and they had accessories that you could deck them out with and have them go to war with each other. And so here is the new Private Side of Bacon. He is a modern, fully articulated collectible figure, bigger with more detail, and he is actually made by Premium DNA Toys. And so he originally retailed for $39.99, and at Walmart he is $24.98. And so again, this is by Premium DNA, who is the same company that's putting out Battletoads and Earthworm Jim and Madball figures right now. And so they're just kind of piggybacking on the sale to get their toys into Walmart here. And on the bottom shelf, we also have Sectaurs, Warriors of Symbion, which in my store is crammed into a space way too small for the size of the figures. And so the new Sectaurs were originally $39.99, and they now retail at Walmart for $24.98, which is the same as a Marvel Legend or a Masterverse figure. So Nacelle has put out two Sectaurs figures. One is Dargon, who is the Prince of the Shiny Realm and our main hero, and the other is Stellara, who is our one female hero. There is one new variant of Dargon, and that is Night Fight Dargon, and he is just a repaint of the Dargon figure they've already put out. And so Night Fight Dargon is a Walmart exclusive, and again, he's basically just a repaint, but there are a couple differences with the card back. It does say only at Walmart, and the Sectaurs logo is silver, but other than that, it is a standard figure, and it is the exact same Dargon figure, just with a different paint job. And so while the Sectaurs figures are the same size as the other figures in this Nacelleverse display, there is some differences between them and the other figures, and between them and collectible figures that we're used to as modern collectors. And I want to take a moment to discuss why that is, because it took me a little bit of research to understand what they were going for with these two figures. So I'm a child of the 80s, and when I think of Sectaurs, this is one of the two things that comes to mind. These figures in these boxes that come with these giant insects that they're riding. This was actually the only way that I was aware of that you could get the regular figure of Prince Dargon. You had to buy his steed Dragonflyer, which of course cost a little bit of extra money. Now, there was a variant of Dargon that you could get in this smaller box that had a companion bug, but he was a regular figure, and that was the Night Fight Dargon. And I thought this was the only way to get Dargon if you didn't want to get that deluxe package with the Dragonflyer that was more expensive. But while researching this video, I discovered this, and I don't have any context for it, but obviously this is a vintage figure in a sealed card back, similar to like Masters of the Universe. There is no companion bug, but it does still have the accessories and the mini comic. And apparently this existed. This one apparently was obviously for a foreign market, but I don't have any other information about these carded figures. And here is the prototype for Stellara from back in the 80s. And this was never released, right? She didn't get to come out. And this is on a card back, and this is in English, so I'm assuming maybe this was the way she was going to be released. You'll notice that she doesn't have a mini comic, unlike Dargon. She actually has a card instead, but again, no companion bugs. It's just a figure and the accessories. And so that is what these new figures are trying to recreate. That is why they don't have any character art on the front. That is why they are on sealed card backs that you have to rip open in order to get to the figure. They're not collector friendly like the others where you're just opening a box. And that's why they only have weapons as accessories. There's no extra hands, no extra heads, no companion bugs, because the figures that they're trying to imitate here didn't have those things either. And they are made not just to fit in with your 6-inch scale modern figures, but to fit in with your old figures as well. This is a shot from Pixel Dan's review, and this is the new Stellara with the old figures that he has from the original line. And as you can see, they fit in perfectly with both the figures and the companion bugs. And so the retro aesthetic of the figure does mean it does have a little bit less articulation than the other figures that Nacelle is putting out in modern collectible figures. And I just want to talk about that while showing some photos of the figure that I got. So that head is not on a ball joint. You can get some side-to-side movement, but nothing up and down. The wrists can rotate, but that's it. There's no hinge or ball joint there. He also doesn't have a bicep swivel, so there are some limited poses he can get while holding the weapons. And he also doesn't have an ab cut or ab crunch, and I'm okay with that because I never know what to do with that. I am perfectly fine with the figure's articulation. I could get every iconic pose of Dargon's that I could think of out of this thing. I am okay if not every figure has the same kinds of articulation. I know we're used to things being very standardized for adult collectible figures, but I think this guy does get a lot of great poses, and I'm perfectly fine with him. And they did add like double jointed knees, and he does sit down just fine, which means he can ride Dragonflyer, which I don't have, but here he is riding He-Man's Battle Cat. This is the OG Battle Cat from the 1980s. So this new Dargon figure does everything I want him to do, actually more than I want him to do, because all I got him for was to pose him next to my Crystar figure. This is Marvel Legends Crystar, and I just wanted to get these two together, and they look perfect. They're on pretty much the same scale. And I wanted to do a display of figures like this from the 80s. I've already picked up Lino from Thundercats from Target. They have the Super 7 version of him that's about 7 inches tall. And so I think he's going to look great along with like a Masterverse He-Man. I can just have a display of fantasy figures from the 80s in their new collectible modern form. All right, and as I wrap up here, I just want to show you guys a few more shots of that display at Walmart. And so here's the artwork that's on the sides of the end cap, and you'll notice Cowboys of Moo Mesa is there. They are available for pre-order on the Nacelle shop right now, and you'll also notice Power Lords, and they haven't been solicited yet, but they will be coming in the future as far as the toys go. And so I was informed about this from a viewer, and I just wanted to share that you guys can walk into a store and buy these toys and you don't have to worry about shipping and handling, which is kind of rare for adult collectible figures nowadays. And so if you don't live near a Walmart that has this display, or you don't want to go to Walmart, don't worry, they are available on Walmart.com. You can order them that way, or Nacelle shop does have some pretty deep discounts that are around what you're going to get them for at Walmart at this point, so you can order them there as well. All right, guys, like and subscribe for more videos, and until next time, see ya.